I just turned 29 this year, 2026, and I'm gonna give you 5 things that I've learned in my 20s. These 5 things are super powerful, and of course this is a finance channel, so all of it is about finances. And if you're able to actually do these things in your early 20s, then you will be far ahead by the time you reach 29 or 30. Let's just jump right into it, because the first thing that I learned in my 20s, now as I turn 29, is that you should invest as soon as possible and as much as possible. I first really started focused on investing about 2 years out of college, and I waited until I got a higher paying job. But you do not have to wait until you get a higher paying job. You should start investing as much as possible, as soon as possible. You should start investing some kind of money if you're in college, a freshman in college. Even if you're in high school and you have some kind of job, just invest $30, $40, $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever you can invest. So it's a lot easier on you when you get older, and you don't have to invest so much money to kind of catch up on those years, or so you don't have to invest so much money so that you can be financially free sooner. The sooner you start investing, the sooner that money can start compounding, and you never know, just by investing 5 years earlier than someone else, it could be thousands and thousands of dollars of a difference, all depending on when you start investing. I'm talking about maxing out your 401ks, I'm talking about maxing out your Roth IRAs, maxing out those accounts as soon as possible, only if you're able to still live. Because when you're young, you don't have those high expenses. You may not even pay rent. So if you're not paying rent, you could put your money towards maxing out your 401k. Let me look this up real quick, hold on. Because I have this investment calculator. I always talk about this investment calculator. Honestly, I need to make my own investment calculator, and maybe that'll be on the way. But if you get a job, say at 21, you have super low expenses, and you maxed out your 401k, we'll just say the max is $23,000. It kind of goes up every year, not always. Just for the sake of the argument, we're just gonna say it's $23,000 to max it out. By 12, that's $2,000 you have to put monthly to your 401k to max it out. That's a lot of money, but if you're living at home and you don't have any expenses, you can definitely max out that 401k and then get a side job so you can have some more money to save. Like, you should be hustling when you're in your 20s. And that's something that I wish I would have did kind of early on, because I started really investing when I was like 25. Definitely by 26 is when I kind of got this revelation of like, I need to get on my stuff so I can retire as soon as possible. Say you do that for 20 years and say it's an 8% rate of return. At 40, you would have $1 million. That's an 8% rate of return if you were to max that account out every single year. So let's say by 30 you continue to do that, you'll have $3 million by the age of 30. And once you get used to the fact that you're maxing this thing out, you're not gonna miss that money as life goes on, as you get raises. You should continue to max it out because it's money that you never really had, the money that you never really saw in your bank account. So that's something that I wish I would have done. Max out my accounts as soon as possible, or just start throwing something to it. It doesn't matter how much it is. If it's $50, $100, just start throwing something to it so that when you start making more money, you can then build upon what you already started in your early 20s. The second thing that I learned in my 20s, and this is something that I knew immediately, but I did not know how powerful it actually was, is that your 401k, to me, is the most powerful investing product. It's the most powerful investment that you can put money into. And the main reason that your 401k is the most powerful investment vehicle, because more likely than not, you're getting a match on your money. So if your company says contribute 5% of your money to your 401k, we will match you at 5%. So you're investing 5%, your company matches you 5%, you're technically investing 10% into your 401k. It's free money. Some companies have even better benefits when it comes to your 401k, and when it comes to that matching, like I've heard 8%. If you invest 8%, we put 8%. If you invest 5%, we put 8%. Like, it's absolutely insane how the matching works and how it can change your portfolio, because you can literally put more than the max if you're able to max out your 401k and your company also matches you. And also, I believe the 401k is the most powerful tool because it's super simple, but you have to make sure that your 401k has good investments for you to contribute to. For example, my 401k has great investments for me to contribute to. I can contribute all my money to something that matches the S&P 500, so I do that. I'm basically on par with VLO, with FXAIX, those kind of index funds and ETFs that track the S&P 500. Literally, my 401k is my biggest account if you've seen my videos, it's over 100,000 now. And that's because I focus on investing at probably 15 to 20%. I'm not even maxing it out. I don't think I will. Like, I can max it out, but the difference is not going to be huge. And I think those dollars are better served for me today. So just know, if you're not getting your match, then you're leaving money on the table. So once you get your job, whether it's a big boy job, there's just some job in high school or college, make sure you ask about the 401k and make sure you're getting at least the match. So you don't have to max out your 401k today, but just be sure that you're getting the match, because I promise you, it's free money. It's automatic, it's consistent. You don't have to think about it. You don't even have to set up the automatic contributions. It does it automatically. So once you put in 5% through however you put in your 401k, whatever platform it is, it's automatic and it's super easy. And that's why I think it's one of the most powerful things. It's not super complicated like investing into a brokerage account or a Roth IRA. It's super simple, at least for me. This is all my personal opinion. These are all things that I wish I would have did early in my 20s, and just things that I've learned since I've turned 29. The third thing that I've learned since I've turned 29 is that your housing is your biggest expense. And housing can literally make or break your finances, especially in your early 20s. You should keep your housing as low as humanly possible. Why? Because this is the biggest expense in your budget. If you're in your early 20s, you want to look at how much housing is in the area that you want to live in, wherever you want to work. How much is housing? I used to live in Boston. We had an apartment there. It was like $1,200 a month. It was a great price to be about 40 minutes from Boston. But when you look at houses, I mean, they were minimum $350,000, $400,000. And when you're looking at those $400,000 houses, those lower priced houses, it's the house that's messed up. It's the house where you go on Zillow and you see like 5 pictures and none of the pictures are inside. It's absolutely insane how much housing can be and how much it can put you back, especially if you're a single household income. You want to factor in how much housing is going to be. Housing nowadays is a minimum of $1,500 to $2,000, and that's just for rent. Having a mortgage is even more expensive. People think that once you get a mortgage, and this is something else I learned, this is like 3.5. Some people think that having a mortgage is the cheapest way to go. Your mortgage doesn't go up. They think they're going to be paying $1,200 or $2,000 or however much money they're paying a month for the rest of the life of the mortgage, which is absolutely false. Your mortgage does not rise, but your property taxes and your insurance definitely rises basically every single year. But you need to make sure that you're buying within your means. Now, I'm super happy that I realized that housing is going to make or break your finances, and I realized that when I was paying rent. I had to get another job so that I could actually save so we could move here to Michigan and buy this house hack. Rent was honestly taking up half of my income at my main job. So I had to get a second job at Walmart so I could save more money so I could move and get a house here in Michigan, which was incredibly way cheaper. $100,000. You're not gonna find a duplex like that everywhere, but you gotta go look. So $100,000 for a freaking duplex, rent out the top, live in the bottom, live for free for however long we've been here, 5 years. Literally, that's one of the main reasons why we're able to save $100,000 in our 401k. The house hack has definitely helped. And it's kind of hard to move. It's kind of hard to look at these other houses out here and be like, ooh, man, $1,500 to $2,000 a month for a house payment. And then knowing that that's going to go up, like, you have to factor in these things. So it's just like, I don't know if I really want to move out this house hack. But definitely right now we're focusing on saving money, and we're going to continue to invest 15 to 20% into our 401k. Literally just stay down for 5 years, 10 years, and save and invest to your future. And then once you get to that 10 years, once you reach 30 or however old you are when you actually start investing, you won't have to invest all this money. You won't have to make all these sacrifices to kind of catch up, because you already did the hard work in your early 20s. The fourth thing I learned in my 20s, and now that I'm 29, I understand this fully, is that you need to control your expenses. Because at the end of the day, your expenses are going to rise almost every single year just because of inflation. And you're more than likely gonna have your income keep up with the rise of your expenses. So if you can keep your expenses as low as possible when you start out early on, knowing that they're going to rise, then you will be fine. But if you start out your adult years with high expenses, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because the expenses only go up. You need to live in the present, but you also need to see the future and kind of predict and expect for things to happen. And this is kind of how you get ahead, so you're not caught off guard when your expenses go up and you realize you're only 30 years old and your minimum bare bone expenses are $4,000 or $5,000 a month, and you're like, what the heck happened? How are my bare bone expenses $5,000 or even $6,000 a month? I've seen people spend $10,000 a month and they say, I need $10,000 a month to live, and it's absolutely insane. And you don't want to end up like that. Like, even if you made that much, you still want to keep your expenses as low as possible so you can invest the difference, so you can go on vacations and live your life and not really stress about money. So the best way to lower your expenses is to live below your means, not beyond, not at your means. Live below your means. That means when you get approved for a house that's $400,000, that doesn't mean you have to get the $400,000 house. You can still get that $250,000, that $300,000, that $350,000 house. You don't have to get something that's at the max of your budget. Then once your expenses start rising, you're going to have to increase the amount of income that you make. This is just something that's going to happen. You're going to have to end up making more income as the years go on, because your expenses are not going to stay the same. Groceries are going to go up, your bills are going to go up, the gas is going to go up, your car insurance, all these things are going to go up. So you need to be sure that you're increasing your income, or you just continue to lower your expenses however you can do it. But you have to be able to look into the future and kind of understand that my expenses are going to go up and I need to be able to manage it. And the fifth thing I learned in my 20s, and now I'm 29, I am kind of starting to learn this and understand it even more, is that you should still live for today. I have this problem. I've gotten a lot better. I personally don't like to spend on myself. I don't like to buy certain things. Like, I used to buy video games and things like that, but I don't buy those things anymore because I say, oh, they're too expensive, or I might not go out to eat when we're over budget, but we're able to because we're being so smart with our money in other areas that we can still go out to eat. Even if we're $100 over budget, it's not gonna kill us if we go out to eat and it's $50 or $60. But in my mind, I'm like, man, I really don't want to spend this money right now. But I have to think, how's that actually affecting my future? How's that affecting my retirement? And at the end of the day, it's not. It's not going to affect my 401k portfolio. It's not going to affect my Roth IRA, my brokerage account. It's not going to affect any of those things, and I have to think about that every time. I'm like, okay, my wife wants to go out to eat, but I'm like, it's the end of the month and we're kind of winding down, but it's not going to hurt my investing portfolio. It's not going to hurt my future self, and I have to start thinking that way. So if you're in your 20s, you need to look at these 5 things and realize that these are super important. And if you're able to actually realize these things and do these things in your early 20s, and you will be far ahead of your peers. I promise you, it will be the best thing that you have ever done, especially keeping your housing expense low. That is the best one. If you're able to do that and invest the difference, then you'll be amazed by how fast you're able to reach that 100K, just like I did. I reached 100K in like 6 years. I wasn't even really focused on it through my first 2 years working. If I was investing more money through my first 2 years, we had the freaking house hack, and I wasn't investing more money to my 401k, which is absolutely insane. I don't know what I was doing. I guess I was saving money. If I would have focused more on that early on, I would have been reached 100K probably by 5 years, to be honest with you. And if I would have maxed it out, then I would have probably reached that thing within like 4, probably still about 5 years. But you don't need to be perfect with any of these things. You just need to start. Start lowering your expenses, start lowering your housing expense, and you're gonna see your portfolio and you're gonna see your life change for the better. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, leave a like and comment down below what you think about these 5 things that I learned in my 20s. You know, as I turn 29, I do not know everything, but I'm gonna continue to teach myself and be sure to stay financially smart and stay financially savvy. So I'll see you guys in the next video.